Buying a condo in Toronto might seem straightforward, but one bad decision, just one, can quietly trap you for years. I've watched buyers lose resale value, flexibility, even heard of people losing their marriages, not because the market changed, but because no one slowed them down and explained the risks involved between choosing units. So today, I'm going to break down some of the biggest condo buying mistakes I see Toronto buyers making and how to avoid decisions you can't easily undo. Let's start with one buyers constantly try to rationalize: buying a condo without parking. Now here's the issue. When you go to sell, you've eliminated a massive buyer pool. So typically couples, families, downsizers who still drive, professionals commuting outside the core, investors, right? So most people need at least one spot. So even if you save a little bit of money on the purchase from it, it does make it harder on the way out to get higher value. So parking isn't about convenience necessarily, it's about having future demand, flexibility, and liquidity. Plus, if you get the unit, right, the parking space, you can always rent it out. Now, another one that quietly destroys long-term value is a lot of buyers always focus on the purchase price with condos, and they get too casual about the maintenance fees. And that's a mistake. You see, above average or high maintenance fees, right, like in an older apartment building, it will rob you of the ability to earn more appreciation. So high fees relative to size hurt, right? They hurt appreciation, what you'll qualify for on a mortgage. It will impact buyer demand. Especially when markets slow down, buyers become extremely fee sensitive very fast. Not to mention, if you own a condo for 25 years and you pay it off, but your maintenance fees are huge, you'll always be throwing money at your property, which isn't the smartest play. By the way, if you're new here, I'm Carl. My team and I have helped over 300 families move across the Greater Toronto Area. If you're looking to buy or sell across the GTA, I would love the opportunity to discuss your goals and how we could be of help. You can book a chat in the link in description. Now this next one, this catches a lot of first-time buyers, and it's the older apartment-style condos that they're cheaper. Here's what people miss on those. A large portion of your monthly cost goes towards maintenance fees, not your mortgage principal. So when you're focusing on a lower purchase price, but there's sky-high maintenance fees, even if you aggressively pay down the mortgage, like I said, your fixed costs don't really improve. And that's why those older apartment buildings, you need to watch out for them, because some of these buildings are blacklisted from lenders. Some have issues like bed bugs, and there are safety concerns too, typically in those older apartment buildings. So if your budget only allows for that type of building, I would probably recommend renting in it. Rent gives you flexibility. I wouldn't be buying those. If a building also allows short-term rentals, you need to be very careful about living there. So what ends up happening with short-term rental buildings is you have fire alarms going off, random guests, noise at all hours, and security concerns at times. You're not buying into a community, you're buying into a hotel, except it lacks the cleaning and security that a hotel would have at its disposal. And here's the real problem. The people who can leave, right, making the mistake of buying there, they eventually do, which means the building gets worse over time, not better. That is like ICE Condos, for example, and other Airbnb-approved buildings. But some buildings have a serious reputation problem and exist for a reason. I just mentioned ICE Condos as an example. I used to live really close to there at York and Queens Quay, and I would see police there, fire trucks, even the SWAT team. Just chaos happening outside that building all the time. And it's because these Airbnb-heavy buildings in Toronto, they are typically a nightmare to live in. And you might see units that are cheaper to compensate for this, but I'm telling you, you don't want to buy there. By the way, if you like this content, I would love a like and a subscribe to the channel. It helps me a ton. Now, the next thing you want to watch out for with condos is low-rise and mid-rise older buildings. So they come with a risk most buyers underestimate. So fewer units mean repair costs are split among fewer owners. So as the buildings age, the repairs increase. Roofs, elevators, plumbing, windows. And that's how special assessments happen. And that's how the maintenance fees, which are already high, spike even more. So one condo board meeting can turn into a massive unexpected bill for you. And once that happens, resale becomes even more difficult. Now, another thing you need to look out for when you're buying a condo is you don't want to review the stat certificate yourself. You don't know the acceptable ratios. You don't know what's normal versus dangerous. You don't know what's already planned but not obvious. And so the document isn't written for buyers, it's written for lawyers. And you should always have a real estate lawyer review it. Not a realtor, not your family, not even yourself. This is not where you want to cheap out. And most lawyers will include that in their fee if you're buying a condo. Now, another big mistake I see is letting someone summarize a home inspection for you, right? So you should be there for the home inspection. You should be walking the unit beside the home inspector. You should be able to ask questions. You want to be learning this. So on my team, I'm very clear. I want all of our clients talking directly with the home inspector. I want them understanding what needs updating, and that way they can understand if it's a good property, what the future maintenance is, and why. So you can always ask for feedback to the home inspector and have it fluid, but you don't want other people steering you. And if you have to get expert insight, involve the expert. Don't ask your realtor for their opinion, right? You should be talking to experts. Now, this one isn't about real estate, it's about life, but I see this all the time. And if you're a young couple, if you haven't lived together, if you've been together less than a year maybe, and you're thinking about buying, slow down. Maybe rent together first. Splitting up while owning a property together is emotionally draining, it's expensive, and it's very messy. So buying together doesn't test a relationship, it exposes it. And you don't want to both burn your first-time buyer exemption for the land transfer tax on that.
You had to say that.
Another one, storage lockers, right? They might not dramatically impact resale value, but you'll absolutely want one when you move in. So most units have little room for storage. And when you're going on tours, you're not going to be thinking about where am I going to put my suitcase, a bike, seasonal items, sports equipment if you play. It adds up fast, even the box for TVs. So living without a locker turns a condo into a cluttered space very quickly. So this only affects your quality of life pretty much, but that's an important one. Now this video is actually part 2 of my first Never Buy This Condo series, so do check out that one as well if you like this. Now, buying a condo or a home in the greater Toronto area will always come with a lot more risk than other towns or provinces, as it's very fast paced here. And the values on sold prices swing massively depending on who you have in your corner. So if you'd like my help, reach out, the link in the description, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Till next time, thanks for watching.